Hi, you're all very welcome to the LGFA Talk Show, and we're on location this afternoon. We're at Gourmet Food Parlour in Northwood in Santry for the launch of the 2020 Ladies HEC Gourmet Food Parlour Championships. And I have three very special guests with me this afternoon. On my left is Éilis Ronayne from Mayo, Laura McGinley from Dublin, and Hannah O'Donoghue from Kerry. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to pass the mic to my left-hand side. Éilis is here beside me. Éilis Ronayne from Mayo and UL. Éilis, we had a bit of fun earlier on.
Yeah.
We had a photo shoot. So the theme of today's event is exploring passions, not just on the pitch, because you're obviously very passionate about ladies football, but off the pitch as well. So you got to dress up.
I did, yeah. We had a bit of fun earlier on. I like to do a bit of baking at home, so I got a nice little apron there from Gourmet Food Parlour. It was very fitting. It was in the right place, and did a bit of baking and a bit of cooking.
And the shots turned out really well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they're very explosive.
Brilliant. I'll just move on to Laura McGinley's here as well from DCU in Dublin. Laura, how did you enjoy this morning, and just something a little bit different?
Yeah, it was really good. I suppose the whole concept of fueling your passion, it's nice to get the aspects outside of football, so that there is life outside of football as well, so it's nice to get those parts of it into the photo shoot.
So yours was music and basketball we were concentrating on.
Yeah, so do a bit of singing here and there, and then play basketball as well for Cluster.
I think you're very modest, if you don't mind me saying, about your singing talent.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen some of the clips on Instagram when you're singing, and it's absolutely unbelievable. Did you ever go for any of the shows?
I went for The Voice when I was younger. Didn't get very far now. Got to a few stages, but I've stuck with the football, I suppose. I like doing a bit of singing on the side, but it wouldn't be something that I like to strive for in life, I suppose.
Okay, so football is the number one for now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming along, Laura. And Hannah O'Donoghue from Kerry is here. Hannah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Long trip up?
Yeah, it was, but early start.
And you were dressed up in horse riding gear.
Yeah. The girls are already enjoying the photos, I think. So
they've got out there already, have
they?
Hannah, you were player of the match in the final last year, the O'Connor Cup final. So, from your own point of view, that was obviously a very memorable tournament. And as we've announced today as well, that we're going down to Kerry for finals weekend. So, how special is that for you as a Kerry native to have the concluding stage in Kerry?
Yeah, well, hopefully, first of all, we'll get to the weekend. And then if we do, I suppose, look, I think there's about 6 or 7 of us from Kerry on the team. So, hopefully, we'll bring a good crowd. And look, Fitzgerald Stadium, I love playing on that pitch. It is my favourite place to play. So you couldn't ask for a better place to have the final.
And tell us a little bit about the new Centre of Excellence in Currans, Hannah, because you guys train there.
Yeah, it's a great facility. Yeah, they've a good few pitches, and there's a lot of room. So it'll be a great place for the weekend anyway. And I think the semi-finals are there. So yeah, a great place.
We'll stay with you, Hannah, because obviously you kick-started your National League campaign last weekend. A 1-point victory in Division 2 to open up.
Tight.
You were away from home as well, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a long trek up, so we were just happy with the result in the end.
So, is the goal this year to get out of Division 2?
Yeah, we're just taking it game by game. There's not really this year. There's no room for any losses because it's only the top 2. So we have to kind of just concentrate each week and focus on the performance more and try just to ease out a result then if we can. Because even if you're looking at one loss, you're not making the top 2 really.
Okay. We'll go back across the line to Laura. Laura, you were back on the Dublin panel this year. You took a year out. Where did you go, and what was the experience like?
So I ended up in Chicago for the summer, and I was playing football over there with St. Bridget's. But outside of that, I was in Nashville, New York, Boston, Vancouver, San Francisco. I did a lot of traveling and thoroughly enjoyed myself. But the football over there is amazing. It's great. The standard is so high, and I definitely would suggest if anyone has the opportunity to go travel to do that.
How much did you miss football at here?
I did
back
miss
home?
it.
Because obviously Dublin won the All-Ireland again.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are saying, like, did you regret going away? And I didn't regret it at all. Like, it was a new experience, and bringing that experience back then and meeting new people is obviously something that you can bring back into the football scene here. And then we also won the North Americans over there in America, so that was also a bonus as well on top of everything.
Because from the outside looking in, look, obviously it was a great opportunity for you to get away and travel, which is something you obviously wanted to do. But I remember this season before, like, you got a little bit of a knack for scoring crucial goals. And, you came a little bit of a goal scorer that year.
Yeah, I suppose one of the main things that we try to focus on is just attacking and getting forward, and even being a back, like, you still have a role to play to get up the pitch. And I think I was fairly lucky in some circumstances, and it's always the work of the team and the players around you that get you into those positions to score.
Looking back on the campaign last year, were you able to watch most of the games or tune into what was happening with Dublin?
Some of the games, obviously, I kept up on Twitter. Any of the games that were streamed live, I tried to watch. Watched the semi-final, I think it was actually on just before the North American finals in Washington it was in. So me and a few of the girls, they were watching it streamed live on Facebook, I think it was. But I think if we were able to get more games on TV or more streamings, I know that they streamed our game on Facebook there on the weekend against Tip, which was really good and positive, and there was a good few people watching. So I think it'd be really encouraging to get more live streams going for the games.
Yeah, well, is that the general consensus among players that this is, streaming games has brought things to maybe a new level again?
Yeah, obviously the number one thing is to actually get people to go into the games. But if people aren't able to make it, or if it's too far, if it's an away game, having the live stream there is really, really good. If people are stuck in work or anything like that, it's there for people to watch the game and still support, even though they might not be at the game.
We'll move the mic on to Éilis. Éilis, so Mayo have started the campaign with a good win.
Yeah.
Last year was extremely positive for you guys.
Yeah, we did well last year. We definitely will be happy, I think, with how the year went for us. Obviously, we lost narrowly in the semi-final, but in terms of the work we put in and how much we progressed from the year previously, and that we'd be very happy with how it went. Yeah.
Your own career path. You come on as a sub in the first game, wasn't it?
Last weekend I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you're obviously trying to break through
to break through, yeah,
on a regular
exactly.
basis.
Last week we played Donegal, so it was actually a very tight game. There was a great atmosphere, and I think it was 4 points we won by in the end. So it was a good start, but there's plenty of competition in our panel. Like, no position is ever guaranteed. Every training, you're wondering, will I be on where I'll be, or there's plenty of competition, so that's a good sign. Yeah, and
people seem to be developing a squad there
like
with a bit of depth.
So many
in it as
new
well.
girls in this year again, and I think everyone got around last week. So it's a good sign. Yeah.
Excellent. How would you describe yourself as a player?
As a player, how would I describe myself? I'd probably be. Well, I'm quarterback. Tenacious. I was going to say tenacious. Yeah. Some of the girls would say that I would probably be tenacious. Yeah. That's what I'd like to think, anyways. If you're cornerback, you're going to have to
forward as well.
Yeah, I like to make a few sneaky runs up the pitch. Yeah, I find myself doing that sometimes. When I get the ball there, then I kind of have to hopefully not give it away. That's the.
And obviously you're going in with UL as champions of the Gourmet Food Parlour O'Connor Cup this year. I don't think you've lost a whole lot of players from last year's squad, so you're going to be pretty strong once again.
Yeah, we haven't lost many players at all, and we have a few new girls in as well. So we're building in strength, anyways. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, and it's not as long a trip to Kerry. It's not too far away.
It's not too far from Limerick. Yeah, if we get there, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not too far, and I'm sure Hannah will give us directions, anyways.
The standard of O'Connor Cup football, I've actually watched it for a long time. Extremely high.
Extremely high, yeah. This is my first year in with them now, and it's amazing. Like, just playing with girls from all over the country. The standard is exceptional. Like, the trainings are just second to none. Like, they're so good. Yeah. And
just a question I'm going to put to the three of you as we move back down along the line. Éilis, yourself first. How are you managing to balance everything? Obviously in college. County training.
Yeah.
How do you manage all that?
Communication is probably the biggest thing to help you manage. So the league games are starting out the weekend, and the championship for college is starting next week too. So it's balancing basically your college training and your county training, and what you have to do aside from that. Recovery is kind of the main thing, really. If you're getting your recovery in and you're kind of knowing your body really, and then you rely on your managers, I suppose, to understand that you're on both panels. So that's probably the main thing.
And some lectures as well to attend
And
to
some
and
lectures
study.
to attend to as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
exactly.
it's quite busy, obviously.
It's busy, yeah, it is busy. It's hectic this time of the year, but once you kind of get into a routine, I think really you don't know any different.
Okay, Laura, yourself, how do you find the balance between work life, college, football?
Yeah.
It's just it's hectic.
Yeah, it's intense, but I like being busy, I suppose. I find myself when I'm doing nothing, I'm very bored. So I actually like being busy, and I like DCU is such a great college to go to, and the atmosphere is great. So when you're there, like you're going to lectures, but like you're also seeing your friends from college, you're seeing people from your area, and then you have your trainings in the evening. And I think like college has always been Monday to Thursdays, and then counties on the weekend. So I think that balance of having your county allowing you to play with your college, and then your college obviously allowing you to play with your county on the weekend, I think that's the communication is key, I suppose.
You're Nave Barrow, Laura.
Yeah.
So are you far? Like, do you obviously live in Dublin? Are you far from college?
No, I'm only 20-minute drive, so
Okay.
yeah, so it's quite handy. So even if I need to nip home for a bit, to grab some food or anything like that, or if I have break between lectures, I'm able to go home, and then come back for college training. So it's actually very handy.
Okay, Hannah, just to bring you in on this, managing everything, balancing everything. How do you manage it?
Yeah, I think you kind of covered it there. Really, it's just about like communicating between the manager of the college and the county managers. Our managers in Kerry are very understanding. Like they can understand we're not going to train if we're putting ourselves under a risk of injury. So I suppose sometimes you might just have to not train, but just maybe step back and say, look, I might do this drill and I might leave this one off, and they understand that as well. So it's just all about communication.
Okay, Hannah, how have you found the day and the surroundings and everything that goes with it?
Yeah, I suppose I wouldn't really be used to kind of all the cameras and all. So, but yeah, it's been good, yeah.
It's certainly an experience anyway.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Just to echo what Éilis said about the squad and the strength of the squad, Hannah, how much did you enjoy last year's O'Connor Cup campaign? And obviously we saw you over the course of the semi-final and final being very impressive, but what was the overall campaign like for you guys?
Yeah, it was very enjoyable, really. It was my first year, and I just made so many friends along the way. You really come together as a group. The weekend then was just very enjoyable as well. You know, you're staying up. We stayed up in Dublin, and we just kind of we had the crack, and we were serious at the same time. That's kind of what you need. Like you can't be too serious, or you won't play well either.
So you good crack after the final.
Yeah, we did. We had a good time.
We'll
alright.
keep that off the
Yeah.
record anyway. Hannah, so looking ahead to the year ahead, you've obviously goals you want to achieve with college, county as well. A little bit about your club and where you come from.
So I'm from the Beaufort Club, and we won the intermediate, so we're up senior this year. So that'll be a new test for us. We're only a small club. I suppose it'll be challenging, and it'll be interesting to see how far we get.
A club with rich tradition at the same time, Hannah.
So I had Mary Jo Kern training me all the way up along. I trained with the lads under 10s, and she was training us. So I suppose that's kind of where it all started.
Would you have been aware of Mary Jo and her legacy and what she achieved when you were young? That this was effectively an icon of the game.
Yeah, like I've always, even my father was always telling me like he saw her play, but I suppose I kind of missed that era. But I've just always heard how good she was, and she's, I think, is it 9 All-Irelands, or it might even be more. It's some serious going, like, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Laura, just from your own point of view, obviously we saw earlier on you like a bit of music, you like basketball. Some terrible news in recent days about Kobe Bryant, one of the greats of the game. Would he have been somebody that you would have admired, or would you have had female sports people? Who were your role models from a sporting sense?
I think when I was younger, a huge sports role model for me would have been Lindsay Peat.
Yes.
Because she's from around my area. She's 10 minutes down the road from me. She's playing rugby, basketball, football. Like she's just an absolute superstar. Like, and she also went to DCU. So I think she was definitely someone who I looked upon when I was younger. And I'd say probably like, it's a bit cliche, but like my dad as well, like he's the one who brought me down to football. He also got me into basketball. He played for Vincent's his whole life. So I think those two people probably might have been like my idols when I was growing up.
Okay, Justin, when you think about female sports and breaking down barriers, I mean, Lindsay in that regard has done so much right across various platforms.
Yeah, I suppose she's sometimes in sports, I think when you're playing at such a high level, you're looked at that you can only play the one sport and that you have to focus all your energy on that sport. Whether I think like she's broken down those barriers in terms of she's gone and she's played rugby for Ireland, she's played basketball at such a high level, and then she's obviously played football for Dublin as well. So I think she's definitely set a really high standard, and she's set the control for what girls can achieve.
Do you get to play much basketball anymore, or is it?
So obviously I took the year from Intercounty last year, so I was originally with Cubs basketball and then joined Leicester. So I was playing Division 2 last year and playing Division 1 this year with Leicester. Might have to take a step back now with college and league and everything. It is quite intense. But again, like the basketball season, it kind of coordinates well with the football. So basketball's from September to March, and then football is from January to September.
There's a nice overlap there.
Yeah. So when you're playing college as well, it is kind of hard. But I do love the sport. It's such a great sport, and the energy that happens during games as well is amazing.
And there's some obviously transferable skills there as well, Laura.
Yeah, definitely, like the speed and agility, and I think the strength as well. I think that's something that my basketball coach said when I came into the basketball team, was that the strength like that I've gotten from football.
Brilliant, big help. Éilis, yourself, role models growing up, sporting icons?
Sporting icons coming up, or when I was growing up, I'd say probably Colin Boyle. He would have been my club.
Yes.
So he was a defender like myself, so I used to kind of watch him a lot. In our home games in the club pitch, I used to see the admiration everyone in the club had for him. And he's done so well for himself, like the county and everything. So I used to look up to him. He'd be well known in the country for he wouldn't back out from a tackle.
Oh, no, he's a hardy bit of stuff.
I always used to look up to him. Yeah.
Would you know him well, Éilis?
I would if I met him on the street now, I'd be able to talk to him like or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd be from my club, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like obviously you've followed the fortunes of Mayo down through the years. They've been so unlucky, haven't they?
Yeah, we've had a few unlucky days out, I'm afraid, on the pitch, but hopefully we can get there now this year and change our look.
Yeah, look, as we record here, we're looking forward to Dublin and Mayo at the weekend. So you two guys will get to know plenty more about each other. Would this just for the three? Would this have been, obviously, Hannah and Éilis, you know each other pretty well. Would there be much interaction between players from the various colleges, or would it be just at days like this where you might just get to meet somebody that you mightn't necessarily know? Yeah,
this is my first time meeting Laura, so that was actually lovely. Probably just days like this where I wouldn't know many girls from other colleges. I don't know if you'd...
No, yeah, I'd kind of be the same. It would be meet at days like this, and maybe even over the weekend you might meet new girls as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura, just back to yourself, just looking ahead to the year that lies in store. Obviously UL are the team to chase in the O'Connor Cup, but you guys have got a very decent side as well.
Yeah, no, we've very good individual players, so I suppose it's just bringing the individual players together and actually playing as a team. I think that's something that's really key. Obviously UL beat us in the league, so we're going to be chasing that hopefully if we make it to the weekend. But the team that we have, like the amount, I think we had 65 first years coming into DCU.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge number. They put a lot of effort into getting new players into DCU this year. So I think that big number, like which was obviously split over the 6 teams that are there, they've brought in definitely a lot of speed and agility, and the youth is really good on the team.
Okay, Hannah, just from a UL perspective again, they've won this competition so many times, very, very strong recent record. Is it better to be champions or challengers? What are the different pressures involved there?
Well, I suppose, in my opinion, I suppose sometimes it might be easier being the underdogs. There's no pressure, like, really. But I don't think there is an underdog this year. Like, all the teams are so evenly matched that, like, you couldn't really call who's going to win it. So there's going to be pressure on every team to perform this year.
Okay. Personal goals, looking ahead to not only this year but the years to come, Hannah. What would you like to achieve ideally?
I don't know, really. I suppose. Obviously, I'd love to win the big All-Ireland title. Like that's the one everyone wants to win. But like, I suppose I have 3 years left in college now, so another 3 O'Connor cups wouldn't go stray either.
Yeah, good stuff. Laying down the gauntlet there. Hannah, what are you studying in college? Tell us a little bit about that.
I do biomedical engineering.
Okay, so tough going?
Yeah, it's very tough in fairness. I do have to put a lot of time in, so it sometimes can be difficult trying to get in like all the trainings as well.
Okay. Laura, yourself, what's your chosen field?
Marketing. So
Okay.
my course is marketing, innovation, technology. So it's a mix between business and science.
Okay, and what do you hope to achieve and go on to?
Well, I'm currently working in Johnson & Johnson, and I'm hoping to get a full-time role there in June. So that will be the main goal for the next short-term goal for the next couple of years.
Okay, and Éilis, yourself?
I'm studying PE and maths teaching.
Okay.
I'm in second year, yeah.
Excellent. Girls, I wish you all the very best. It's great to have you up, and obviously we're very happy to have you here as we launch the Gourmet Food Parlour O'Connor Cups. The weekend itself is March 13 and 14, so the finals are going to be down in Kerry, the Kerry Centre of Excellence. The new Centre of Excellence, £7 million, stunning state-of-the-art facilities. We're really looking forward to going down there. I'd like to also say thanks to the girls for coming up and coming here today, and to our host, Gourmet Food Parlour. We've really enjoyed being here today, and hope you enjoyed the show. Keep watching, keep listening, share, like, comment, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.